This is episode 1 of Welcome to the Ring. This is going to be my podcast that I'll be doing about boxing. I will have a separate podcast / show about UFC called In the Octagon. So today we're going to be talking about Andy Cruz versus Raymond Muratalla. Not just that, but we'll be getting into a little bit of different things regarding Keyshawn and Jermaine Ortiz. But yeah, just stick around for that. Andy Cruz versus Raymond Muratalla. They're in the lightweight division fighting at 135 pounds. Who is Raymond? He has a professional record of 23 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws with 17 knockouts, and he's ranked number 3 in his weight class by Ring Magazine. He became the IBF title holder after defeating Zaur Abdullaev in May of 2025. Then shortly became the IBF world title holder after Vasily Lomachenko retired in June of 2025. His first title defense is actually coming this January 24th against Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is a fighter with only 6 professional fights with a record of 6 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws, with 3 coming via knockout. So he's challenging Raymond Muratalla for his IBF belt. And Andy Cruz is facing a top-ranked fighter in the lightweight division with such a small professional record. So when I first saw that, I was curious about this guy, and I looked into him, and it turns out he's actually the 2020 Tokyo gold medal winner and also a winner of 3 AIBA championships with an amateur record of 140 wins and 9 losses. He has defeated none other than Keyshawn Davis in the Olympics to win the gold medal, which is why it's very interesting to see a fighter with a low professional bouts getting a title shot. But his amateur record speaks for itself, considering that Keyshawn Davis is right now looked at one of the best upcoming prospects in boxing. But that's not all, because they actually faced off a total of 4 times, one being in the Olympics, and Andy Cruz defeated Keyshawn Davis in every single fight, leaving the rivalry at 4-0 in the amateurs. It will be a very interesting match this January 24th to see if Andy Cruz has what it takes to defeat Raymond Muratalla and take his IBF belt. This will be a good setup for a huge potential fight between Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis down the road. I know that Andy Cruz is fighting at the 135 and Keyshawn just moved up to 140. But once they fight, hopefully professionally, and the lore behind these two fighters just adds to the plot, considering Keyshawn has openly mentioned this fight happening possibly later, and him getting his get back, with him reassuring that he is more than capable now. So we'll see. But Keyshawn is also fighting January 31st on the co-main event of Teofimo versus Shakur Stevenson. Keyshawn will be up against Jermaine Ortiz, who currently has a record of 20 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 1 loss coming from Lomachenko and 1 loss coming from Teofimo. Jermaine is regarded as a good fighter with good IQ and switch hitting abilities, leading many to say that this is Keyshawn's biggest test up to date. And it will be interesting to see if he's able to defeat Jermaine, because I know Jermaine said himself that he can't afford another loss if he wants to eventually be back in the position to fight for a title. He acknowledges, quote, "In boxing, opportunities don't keep coming, and this is just another chance of defeating a top prospect, somebody with a name." He states Keyshawn's resume is overrated and he hasn't faced anyone like himself, saying that he is a higher level fighter than him. My prediction is I've got Andy Cruz defeating Muratalla. After watching a lot of his footage, he's a very, very technical fighter, but in all honesty, this can go either way. As Keyshawn versus Jermaine, I would have to give the edge to Jermaine just because he does have experience with top level fighters. Although he lost to both of them, you can learn a lot from defeats. But it will be interesting to see who will win. And I'll be personally attending, so tune in for a New York vlog coming from me personally. I can't wait to see all these fights over the next upcoming 2 weeks. It feels like boxing is generally thriving right now. A lot of fights are starting to happen. Obviously like Teo versus Shakur, and now officially Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Benavidez, who is currently moving up in weight to fight Zurdo this May, is a very interesting fight and is supposed to happen. Bivol as well is set to return sometime in spring, with footage of him already back up training. And everyone hopes to see Benavidez and Bivol face off sometime later this year. and I know a lot of us do. Boxing has just been killing it right now, and I think everyone's trying to face each other. I know the whole Virgil Ortiz with Boots and his fight right now is in a weird, shaky situation due to the lawsuits, but I'm very curious to see how that will be settled. Allegedly, the attorney that is helping Virgil sue Golden Boy Promotions is actually the same attorney who sued with Canelo. So the attorney that helped Canelo sue Golden Boy is helping Virgil sue. And I've seen some online speculation about Canelo potentially signing Virgil Ortiz to his own promotions. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but I do think that we need to see that fight this year. As far as the purses, I think that was the biggest thing for apparently not being able to sign the fight, but I'm not entirely sure. At the end of the day, all this is behind the doors, so it's only hearsay. But yeah, man, make sure you guys tune in into the next episode. I'm keeping this short as of now because I am currently trying to work on improving the quality of the episodes and stuff like that. I do hope to eventually have episodes lasting for about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the demand on that. And eventually I do want to have face cam and or guest on the podcast with other people's opinions and talking about what they think. So, just tune in, and yeah.